What if I told you there's a place where science, folklore, and the paranormal collide? A location so bizarre, even seasoned investigators are left scratching their heads. Skinwalker Ranch is no ghost story around a campfire. It's a real-life enigma, a swirling vortex of UFO sightings, cattle mutilations, and interdimensional oddities. And here's the kicker. Some of the smartest minds in the world have tried to crack its code, only to walk away more mystified than when they started. For years, this unassuming patch of land in Utah has been the stage for phenomena that defy explanation. Skeptics have called it a hoax, believers see it as proof of extraterrestrial life, and a few daring souls whisper about military experiments that push the boundaries of human understanding. Whatever it is, Skinwalker Ranch holds secrets that challenge everything we think we know about reality. But here's the twist. The more you uncover, the stranger it gets. What's really happening here? Are we dealing with extraterrestrials, a glitch in the fabric of space and time, or something even more sinister? Stick around because we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and controversial tales of our time, and trust me, you won't look at the night sky the same way again. Picture this. A quiet, sprawling Utah ranch, the kind of place you'd imagine raising a family or herding cattle without a care in the world. Now flip that image on its head. When the Sherman family moved to Skinwalker Ranch, they found themselves in a living nightmare. Doors locked on their own, cattle vanished without a trace, and strange orbs of light zipped through the skies like they had a mind of their own. And that's just scratching the surface. Their first night alone might have been enough to send most folks packing. The Shermans reportedly witnessed a massive wolf, like something out of Native American folklore, that shrugged off point-blank gunfire. You'd think that was a one-off, right? No. Things escalated. UFOs hovered above their fields, magnetic fields disrupted their electronics, and cattle mutilations became disturbingly common. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't explain it or escape it. Eventually, the stress took its toll. The family struggled financially as livestock losses mounted. Rumors swirled that they might have been cursed or caught in some high-tech military experiment. But let's be real, who could keep their head on straight when orbs of light are flying around your backyard? Their mental health deteriorated alongside their finances, leaving them desperate for answers. And answers they sought, though the more they dug, the stranger it all got. Every story about Skinwalker Ranch seemed more outlandish than the last, yet eyewitness accounts piled up. Still, one can't help but wonder, was it the land, the Shermans, or something far older and deeper stirring up this chaos? Whatever it was, it didn't go unnoticed. Enter Robert Bigelow and his team of top-tier investigators. Now, here's where the story takes a sharp turn from a ghost story to a science thriller. Enter Robert Bigelow, the billionaire with a deep fascination for the unknown. When he caught wind of the Shermans' experiences, he didn't scoff or look the other way. Instead, he bought the ranch outright. His goal? To uncover what was really happening on this patch of paranormal paradise, or nightmare depending on your perspective. Bigelow wasn't about to play amateur ghost hunter. Nope, he went full throttle, assembling the National Institute for Discovery Science, NIDS. This wasn't just a ragtag group of enthusiasts armed with cameras and flashlights. Bigelow's team included physicists, engineers, and military veterans, all equipped with advanced technology to measure magnetic fields, analyze UFO sightings, and scrutinize every cattle mutilation in excruciating detail. Think of NIDS as a mashup of a sci-fi think tank and a paranormal CSI team. They set up camp on the ranch and got to work looking for patterns in the chaos. Every orb of light, every magnetic anomaly, every poltergeist-like event was logged and analyzed. And while the team remained tight-lipped about their findings, whispers of interdimensional anomalies and extraterrestrial visitors began to emerge from behind the scenes. Still, for all their efforts, the ranch seemed to play by its own rules, eluding definitive answers. The deeper NIDS dug, the stranger the puzzle became. Was this place an experiment gone wrong? Or something far beyond human understanding? The ranch seemed to whisper, "Not so fast," keeping them on edge. But their determination only grew, leading them to focus on the ranch's strangest and most chilling phenomena, the livestock. With NIDS in full swing, you might expect instant answers, right? Not so fast. The team approached Skinwalker Ranch like a scientific Rubik's Cube, twisting and turning every possible variable to crack the code. First up, they ruled out the usual suspects. No hidden power lines causing magnetic fields, No psychological mass hysteria, no swamp gas or weather balloons playing tricks on the eye. They wanted hard data and they weren't cutting corners. Their methods were as rigorous as they were creative. The team installed state-of-the-art surveillance systems, including infrared cameras, motion sensors, and electromagnetic monitors. They even used night vision goggles to track those infamous orbs of light and other visitors creeping through the night. Think of it as Ghostbusters meets high-tech espionage, minus the proton packs. But here's the kicker: the phenomena didn't exactly cooperate. Equipment would mysteriously malfunction just as events started to unfold. Cameras aimed at one area would capture absolutely nothing, even while glowing orbs zipped past the ranch's edge. It was as if whatever was behind the disturbances had a playbook and stayed one step ahead of the investigators. Frustrating? Absolutely. But it only made them dig deeper. Despite the tech glitches, some findings couldn't be ignored. Electromagnetic surges around the ranch defied explanation, while cattle mutilations exhibited surgical precision no predator could replicate. Was this advanced technology at work? An interdimensional glitch? Oddities pressed on, peeling back the layers of mystery, but the ranch was about to hit them where it hurt: their livestock. If there's one thing that made Skinwalker Ranch infamous, it was the livestock. The Shermans weren't exaggerating when they reported cattle mutilations, and NIDS investigators soon found themselves face to face with this gruesome reality. The mutilations weren't just strange, they were impossible. Animals were found with organs removed through precise cuts, as if by a surgeon, and not a single drop of blood left behind. Coyotes don't carry scalpels, so what was going on? The most chilling incident involved 4 prized bulls. These weren't just your average cows, they were massive, irritable creatures weighing nearly a ton each. One moment they were grazing peacefully in a corral. The next they were crammed into a locked trailer, alive but in some sort of daze. It took hours for the ranch hands to coax them out. How did they get in there? More importantly, who, or what, put them there? The trailer showed no signs of tampering, leaving investigators baffled. And it wasn't just cattle. Pets and smaller livestock would vanish without a trace, leaving nothing but eerie silence. One ranch dog, for instance, disappeared after chasing a glowing orb. It sounds like a campfire tale, but eyewitnesses were adamant and terrified. These events didn't just scare the ranchers. They left hardened scientists scratching their heads, wondering if they'd stumbled into an alien lab or an interdimensional zoo. Each event added another layer to the ranch's enigma. Was this some bizarre experiment? Evidence of extraterrestrial activity? Or maybe something rooted in Native American folklore, like a curse tied to the land itself? The answers remained elusive, but the sightings didn't stop. As investigators braced for the next encounter, they began witnessing the phenomena with their own eyes. As if cattle mutilations weren't enough to keep everyone on edge, the investigators began seeing things themselves, things that defied logic. Glowing orbs of light weren't just eerie, they were downright tactical. These orbs would zip across the sky, stop suddenly, and then dart away faster than any aircraft known to man. Through night vision equipment, they even appeared to have some sort of structure, almost like machines, if you could call them that. But it wasn't just the lights. One night, an investigator spotted what he described as a massive, wolf-like creature prowling the property. It wasn't just big, it was unnatural. Despite shooting at it repeatedly, the thing seemed unfazed and eventually disappeared into the night. Another team member swore they saw a shimmering portal, like a window into another world, with a dark figure stepping through before it vanished. Interdimensional anomalies? Maybe, but try explaining that to the skeptics. And let's not forget the strange, heavy breathing sounds coming from nowhere, or the objects moving on their own. Poltergeist activity was on full display, as if the ranch was doubling as a haunted house. Investigators were often left wondering, were they dealing with multiple phenomena or one big interconnected mystery? Whatever the case, they felt like they were being toyed with, watched even. Each new sighting only deepened the intrigue, leading to wild theories. Was this the work of extraterrestrials? Advanced technology from a secret military program? Or perhaps, as some believed, a curse tied to Native American folklore? The truth seemed just out of reach, leaving the investigators chasing shadows. And while they debated theories, one unsettling question lingered: what's the bigger picture behind all of this? When it came to explaining the chaos at Skinwalker Ranch, Theories ranged from the fascinating to the downright bizarre. One camp was convinced the phenomena were extraterrestrial in nature. After all, UFO sightings were practically a weekly event on the ranch. Others pointed to the possibility of advanced military experiments, speculating that the ranch might be a testing ground for cutting-edge technology cloaked in secrecy. But that wasn't all. Native American folklore added another layer to the mystery, with stories of skinwalkers, shape-shifting entities said to haunt cursed lands. Could the strange lights and interdimensional anomalies be linked to ancient rituals or a curse tied to the land? The ranch's location on the edge of the Ute tribe's territory gave this theory some teeth, making even skeptics pause. Then there were the theories that blended science fiction with science fact. Some investigators speculated about interdimensional gateways, a literal tear in the fabric of reality where creatures and objects could slip between worlds. The ranch's strange magnetic fields and poltergeist activity seemed to support this idea, though proving it was another matter entirely. Could the glowing orbs and bizarre creatures be visitors from another dimension? The evidence, while compelling, remained elusive. No single explanation seemed to fit all the pieces of this puzzle. Each theory opened more questions than answers, leaving even the most brilliant minds scratching their heads. But just as the investigators started gaining momentum, the phenomena took a surprising turn, leaving everyone wondering if they'd been chasing a ghost, or something far more elusive. By the late 1990s, the unrelenting strangeness of Skinwalker Ranch began to wane. The glowing orbs, mutilations, and interdimensional anomalies that once seemed like a nightly spectacle became sporadic. For the investigators, it felt like the ranch had grown bored of their presence, or perhaps it had learned to stay out of sight. Either way, the decline in activity left more questions than answers. By 1998, the team found themselves with fewer events to study, and frustration mounted. The ranch's silence was almost as unnerving as its chaos. Was the activity tied to the Sherman family, who had since moved on? Or was something, or someone, interfering to keep the phenomena under wraps? Theories swirled, but with little data coming in, NIDS had no choice but to scale back their efforts. In 2004, the National Institute for Discovery Science officially ceased its investigations. Publicly, they claimed the lack of consistent phenomena made further research impractical. But privately, some wondered if the mystery of Skinwalker Ranch had simply outmaneuvered them. Whatever the case, the ranch slipped back into obscurity, though whispers of strange occurrences continued to emerge now and then. Even with the investigations over, the ranch's legend refused to fade. New owners and visitors occasionally reported bizarre happenings, keeping the story alive. While NIDS had packed up and left, the ranch still seemed to hold secrets, as if it were lying in wait for its next chapter. And with that, Skinwalker Ranch remained a riddle, one that continues to tease, tantalize, and terrify those who dare to look too closely. So what's your take? Is Skinwalker Ranch a crossroads of extraterrestrial visits, interdimensional portals, or perhaps the product of secret military experiments? Maybe it's a bit of everything, or something else entirely. What's certain is this: the ranch doesn't just challenge our understanding of the paranormal, it flips it on its head. It's a place where the rules of reality bend, leaving us to wonder if we're even asking the right questions. And that's the point, isn't it? To question. To think beyond the basics, to push the boundaries of what we know, and to stay curious. Maybe the next big discovery isn't buried in a lab or written in a textbook. It's out there, waiting for someone bold enough to connect the dots. Could that someone be you? If you're as fascinated as we are, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This is just the beginning. There's a world of untold mysteries out there, and together we'll uncover them one by one. Ready to dive deeper? Let's make the unknown known, starting now.